Well, good evening and welcome to St. Louis Park Girls Softball. And you are in Oriole country. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Resnick, and joining me today is John Fromm, and we've got a special guest, Steve Swanson. And we are looking at a beautiful day here at Oriole Park at Aquila Fields. And I want to welcome you back. John, we've got a non-conference matchup today against the St. Louis Park is hosting the the you can tell what today it is. Minneapolis Edison Tommies.
Beautiful, yes, Mike, and great to be with you to start the season, the home slate of the season. And as you mentioned, the Orioles come in with a 1-1 record, fresh off a split against the Blake Bears the other day. Third year in a row, I believe, that the Orioles have hosted the Tommies from Edison, making the trip over from Northeast Minneapolis.
Yeah, Coach John Calhoun and Erica Skiba have brought the girls over from the Northeast side.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that young lady in her fourth year as a starting hurler for the Orioles, Lauren Resnick, the junior, toeing the slab for the Orioles today. And a really special and important day for all St. Louis Park people, as it's been a really rough week, obviously, with what's gone on in the community. You see the girls decked out with their orange ribbon and lace in their hair, Mike, and feel free to expound on that.
Yeah, it's been a tough week, unfortunately, with the situation in Colorado with Evan McManus and his dad. Just really a sad situation. I know they called off the search here a couple days ago, and so in honor of the McManus family, the kids all wore orange to school the other day. All over St. Louis Park, you've got orange balloons flying high, and as a nice tribute to the family, the girls are donning a nice bright orange ribbon in their hair today. A nice tribute to the family, and really a sad situation.
But absolutely, and I tell you, nothing beats the emotions of going through what the people in Park have the last 2.5 years. But I'll tell you what, the bright sunshine is out. We've got a doubleheader to bring you here today on Park 16. Make sure if you haven't reached into the fridge for a cold refreshment, you do so now. You don't want to miss any of the action, as Lauren will toe the slab and get things started against the Edison Tommies.
Yep, and leading it off for the Tommies is a senior center fielder, number 5, Daniela Martinez. She hits a rocket to Bella, and Bella makes the catch. So 1 pitch and 1 out. Nice reaction time there by Bella, using all of her 5'9" frame. That's taking advantage of that height.
Nice to get the 1 pitch out to start things for the junior Resnick.
There's the windup and the pitch, and she's right down the pipe there with a fastball. Now batting for the Tommies is number 16. This is Haley Irwin. She's a junior, and she'll be on the slab today when they're in the field. Oh, the changeup.
Oh, boy, she really pulled a string on that, and she's been working hard as a 4-year starter on the Hill. Lauren's really received she under fire as an 8th grader. She gained experience, and she's just added to her resume during the 4 years.
Takes her low and inside.
Good eye, Haley. See her mixing it up there.
Didn't see the count. Oh, we had the scoreboard working for a moment. Now the scoreboard is down. So is that 1-1 or 1-2? There's a low
I think
pitch.
that's strike 3. I had 1-2 on that pitch, and that'll be a nice 4-pitch out for Lauren. She's thrown 5 pitches to record 2 outs.
And this will bring up the number 3 spot, number 10, Oshana Reich.
I remember that name from last year when we called these games. We had that a little bit better weather conditions than last time the Tommies came over this way. If I remember right, it was about 35 with a nice breeze from the northwest.
It was. I think Coach Calhoun had his long underwear on that game. There's a foul ball. Strike 2.
And really nice that, under Coach Wahutka, again, this is, I believe, year 3 or 4 of this doubleheader institution, where a lot of doubleheaders on these weekdays, and this is a beautiful Friday night, and we've got nice weather to get a couple in.
Absolutely, absolutely. No better place to be than out at the ballpark. There's a high shot down the left field line, and Garcia tracks it down, and that'll be foul. So really got a good piece of that one. Reich, the first baseman.
Yeah, I don't recall, Mike, and we apologize, fans. Normally we would have all the information from the high school league or softball hub on the grades, ages, stats, etc. But so early in the season, don't have everything. What grade is this?
She's a junior. Yep.
She's a junior.
Yep,
okay.
She's a junior, so she's got another year of play. Oh, and Resnick pulls the trigger on that one, pulls the string, and she goes down, strike 3. So after a half inning complete, no runs on no hits and no one left on. And we've got Steve Swanson joining us here in the booth. Steve, what is your thoughts? I know you've got a daughter on the team. Shay is catching for us, and what's your thoughts so far of the season?
Well, like you say, I'm just happy to be out in the nice weather we have in here. Yeah, early in the season, I think the St. Louis Park squad looks pretty good. Well, was at the games on Tuesday, and yeah, I think they're happy to be outside too.
And boy, we should mention the Swanson name in the St. Louis Park area, very much associated with time at the ball fields, as I believe your son Blake obviously was a big member of that 2010 section runner-up team that Chad Austed coached in his 1 year. And I remember he was a great hurler. You and I and Mike had a little bit of discussion about your pitching past and some of the success you had in high school at Cooper, and obviously some tricks of the trade that you passed on to Blake, and then Blake on to Shay. A lot of competitiveness, huh?
Yeah, if I could start with my dad. My dad was just inducted to his high school athletic hall of fame, and he was a baseball player back in, as a 7th grader, I think, back in a small farm town in central Minnesota. So there's baseball lineage. We've spent a lot of time at the park.
Oh, that's a great. What for fans just joining in? We're joined by Mr. Swanson and Mike Resnick and John Fromm here with you on Park 16 to open the home half of the Orioles schedule this year. Has your daughter always enjoyed catching, or has she always been a catcher?
Yep, she's always been a catcher. She absolutely loves it.
Yeah, I actually had the sorry to interrupt. I actually had the privilege of coaching Shay when she was it 6th grade maybe? She was either 5th or 6th grade. We had a team of 6 and 7 or 7. Yeah, I think it was 6th and 7th grade. So she might have been 6th grader, and that was the year we went undefeated. We had the perfect season, and I probably should have retired after that. It was really a fun year, and Shay actually did a little catching for us, and I think she played a little infield as well. So I know Steve always tells us that catching isn't considered infielding, but we'll have that discussion later. In his eyes, that's not really on the field. She's out of bounds behind the plate. All right, leading it off for the Orioles, we've got number 7. That's Mackenzie Evenson. Mackenzie is a sophomore, and she's returning as a starter last year. She had the taking ball too. She had the benefit of coming in and taking over we had an injured player last year, and so it was very an opportunistic situation for Mackenzie, and so she started last year as a shortstop for most of the season, and here she is back again, and they've moved her over to third base. And she waits on that one and pulls it right through the left side of the field, and that's a base hit for Mackenzie. So Orioles have a runner at first, and that'll bring up senior tri-captain Lauren Myra. Lauren has been playing a little bit of first base this year and a little bit of center field.
She fouls it off. I was going to say, she's really been a great leader with the program too, Mike. I know you and I have had a chance to visit at certain points during the last several off season, and she's really been a leader in terms of trying to organize a lot of captains practices, get the girls together, making sure the spring break routines are known. Yep.
No, I think the two Laurens and Maria both have done a nice job trying to keep the girls active in the off season when the coaches aren't able to work with them, and make sure everybody gets to the practices on time, and they know the dress codes and all the other fun stuff that comes along with being a leadership role as a captain. And there's a ball that drops in front of the shortstop. She makes a quick throw. And
nicely done there on a little 6-3 put out there. And
that was number 24 at short, Amy Layton. Layton, probably could have charged it, but she played it in front of her, didn't let it get by her, and then had the wherewithal to make the out at first. So 1 out, and this brings up number 9, Lauren Resnick, and as John mentioned earlier, she's pitching tonight. She looks at low ball 1.
In looking at the first 2 games, Lauren pacing the Orioles and hitting with a 6 for 8 balance sheet. She's knocked 3 runs in those 2 games, and she's going to hit one hard to third here.
See if she can get her in. So out at first, but she manages to get the runner in. And the Orioles are on the board, 1-0.
One of the challenges I bet today, too, is you got a definite difference in velocity that you're seeing here. Not a real hard fastball coming in.
Yep.
Nice to see the immediate adjustment that Coach Watka had talked to the girls about, and they're all at the very front of the box. But the patience they're going to have to need today to wait on the pitches as they come in is.
And John, you bring up a good point. Can you tell me what is the legal rule? And I guess I don't know if it's softball rule is different than baseball, but they can be in the front of the box. Can they step past the front of the box then? Is that considered is still in play, or is that, what is the call?
I know we take that for ball two there. I do not know the fast pitch rules, and maybe Mr. Swanson, you might. I know in baseball when your foot lands, if your foot lands out of the box, your front foot at the moment of the impact, you're considered out of the box. If the umpire doesn't see it, it's up to somebody else or the second umpire to maybe make that interpretation, and you can be called out, but you almost never see that because the home plate umpire is doing nothing but looking at the strike zone.
Right. Yeah. So, no, that's a great point. I was just curious. So the Orioles, Maria Barr gets on a base on balls, and she quickly scampers over to second base, and now we've got a runner at second with 2 outs, and the batter's number 6, and that's Maddie, our shortstop today.
So.
And Maddie hits it to the short. Oh, and a nice play by the shortstop. That's Leighton, and that's 3 outs. So after 1 complete, the Orioles go 1 run scored, 1 left on, and we've got 1-0 after 1 complete. And I apologize, that was Maddie McIntosh, the batter. Maddie is a 7th grader actually, and she started the first 3 games at shortstop. So fun to get some youthful blood in, and really what I've noticed and most impressed with by Maddie is not necessarily her offensive yet, because I think she'll grow into it, but boy, on her defense, she really has tremendous footwork. She knows how to position the ball, and she's shown that she's got some decent speed in the middle infield. So it'll be fun to watch her develop, and if she can continue to grow and develop that offensive threat at the plate there, John, I think that the Orioles could have a nice, building block.
Well, nice too as a 7th grader. She's obviously coming in, and I would assume whatever the sport may be, whether you're in gymnastics, baseball, girls or boys sport, you're going to have those nerves. But this is already the 3rd game in 2 days, because you had the doubleheader Wednesday, another doubleheader today.
Yeah.
I'm sure Coach Watka probably ideally wanted that with a 7th grade shortstop as well. He wants her to get as many reps in game in terms of ground balls, practices, get the edge cut off so she's not so, nervous as she go. It's one thing to play traveling, 10 or 12A or whatever you might be, but it's a little different when you're wearing the school colors. And of course, these girls got brand new uniforms on, which we didn't even talk about.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Well, here we go, the top of the 2nd, and this is number 12. That's Alicia Westerhouse, and Westerhouse is a senior, and she's roaming in left field this year. Lauren goes down low. Definitely tried to throw a little harder that time. You could see the speed on the windmill had definitely increased, and the velocity was there. She just didn't get it over the plate. So 1-0, I apologize.
9 pitches in the first inning is what I had for Lauren, and I had 7 strikes officially on the board.
Oh, and there she goes. Nice pitch down low. So sticking with the fastball, looks like Shea is framing her up inside outside, and we've got a 1-1 count. Shea looks very comfortable back there so far. Last year, I think she might have been a little bit of a deer in headlights. Or they threw her back there a couple, and there's a strike. That looked like it might have been a curve. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it looked like she had a little movement on that. She's really got the 3-pitch mix, Mike, and I know with you announcing, you might not want to embellish your daughter's arsenal, but I'd love for you to talk a little bit during the broadcast about what she brings to the table. And
Sure. Well, there's a nice hit, and McIntosh, with the out. So a nice rope, and again, I think what we'd like to draw out here, John, is that, and Steve, is that with the velocity, the ball is going to jump quicker on the harder pitch. The slower pitch is just not going to get that trampoline effect off the bat. And even though the bats and the technology has really improved, there's a strike. This is number 24, Amy Leighton. She's the senior shortstop, and we saw her make 2 nice plays in the first inning.
And no relation to GB Leighton, the famous Twin City music band that we're aware of.
No, but I know
nice
a surprise bunt, and here's Evenson with the throw, and it's just too late. Wow, what a surprise there.
Beautifully executed. Third baseman for the Orioles, playing right at the bag level, drops down. Tough read there for any third baseman, but she decided to play that. Don't know if he would have had any movement if that would have spun foul, but Just a one out. It was
one
just-
out.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
yeah.
one out bunt.
So a little, very, very strategic play there. Coach Calhoun pulling out all stops right now, and so that's a infield hit for Amy Layton. Now 13 is Isabella Loisel. She's a junior and she's starting in right field tonight. She looks at ball one or strike one, and.
And Mike, you mentioned Lauren got the complete game win in Game 1 on a Wednesday, and then she followed it up with a relief appearance.
Nice.
Feel free to talk a little bit too about coming back on 1 day rest. Normally you wouldn't have that happening in baseball, but with the underhand natural motion as well as how much repetition she's had in the offseason, how'd she feel coming into today?
Yeah, no, that's a great call out. Well, good change up, nice play, and there's no play at first because their first base was occupied. I thought that was strike 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's two down. That's two down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they're waiting for the catcher. So next up is Pa Yang. She's a freshman and she'll be catching. She's replacing longtime catcher Martinez. Martinez was there for 4 years, and her sister's still on the team. She led off Danielle, and she's playing center field today. So Miss Yang is getting her first appearance here at Oriole Park, and she goes high.
Beautifully
going
up.
Snap throw. Ooh,
nicely executed.
Beautiful play. I like the snap throw from Shea. If Bella just swings her arm back there, I think she's got the out.
And Perkins, decent job in right field at making sure she backed up on that throw down as well.
Yeah, and it's and another point is that we've got Megan Perkins, who's an 8th grader, out in right field. So nice that she has the wherewithal. And here's another snap throw.
Yeah,
So.
and especially early in the season, nice to get those games in. I don't know how much outside practice time the girls had.
I think they only had
situational.
one outside practice before they played at Blake. So, and the Blake game, interestingly enough, folks, is that that was a home game for the Orioles, but there's a ball in the dirt, and we've got number 24 is Layton scattering down to second base with a nice slide. So I believe
making music on the bases.
Yes, beautiful. I love it. GB Layton on the bases. GB is going to call us later. There's strike.
There we go.
And that's strike 3.
Yeah, Lauren strikes out the side, I believe, there again. And I may be wrong. And Steve, feel free to jump in here if you were doing the stats on the pitches here. But I think Lauren only threw 3 balls that inning, and she had 2 in the first inning. So a lot of strikes being thrown using all 3 of her pitches early on, which is nice to see.
Right? You want to give us a breakdown, Steve, what the line looked like there?
Yeah, we have no runs, 1 hit, no errors.
All right, perfect.
That was a beautifully executed bunt and a tough read for, I apologize, I don't know who was at third.
Yeah, it was Mackenzie.
It was Mackenzie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
But we should mention, Mike and I had a discussion briefly this morning, with the Tommies coming to town, and of course, Minneapolis Edison is the opponent today. And of course, a lot of people are familiar with Thomas Alva Edison and all the different inventions. I didn't realize, Mike, till this morning when I Googled it, that 1,037 inventions are actually credited to him in Washington, D.C. Over 1,000.
Are those inventions? Are those patents? I don't know. Is it?
It said inventions on. I don't know. Feel free to jump in here, Steve. I don't really know. I'm not so technical. Being a Park grad, I'm not.
Right.
I don't have a lot of that extra math background or science that I should have received in the early '80s. But I couldn't believe it was over 1,000. And of course, I don't know if we. Don't know if we have time, and if Misty Lewis is on camera, if she can. Misty, when you're playing Edison, you got to think about this right here. The number 1 invention accredited to Thomas Edison right here, the light bulb. Are we right? Where would we be without this gadget?
There would be no night games.
All right.
Anyway,
beautiful.
just a little light humor. Make sure you don't turn the sound down just from what you've heard from me, because there are 2 other announcers here today. You can.
All right, leading it off, the bottom of the second is our catcher, Shea Swanson. So Shea looks at ball 1, and Shea coming off a good game the other night at Blake. She had a couple good games. Oh, and there's a high running down the left field line, just foul. And as you can see here, every batter is way ahead of the pitch. So, John, I know that we talked about being in front of the plate. Is this something, too, where would you go down to the end of the bat a little bit? Or what's your thought? Because normally you choke up to get speed.
I'd drop 2 fingers on the bottom off. I don't know what your thought would be. I'd drop 2 fingers off the bottom.
Herbeck style.
Yeah, I would. And I would get a 38-ounce bat if I could.
Yeah.
Even though you wouldn't have bat speed. It's just human nature. I don't know.
I had
when
the
they
honor
do
of
batting
playing,
practice, are they facing, know, is Lauren throwing a lot of BP to these girls too?
No, I think they're using the machine or they're hitting off tees and they're, it's,
Okay.
But even when you go to the cage, you're seeing, a velocity a lot different. So
Yeah.
Shay finds a free pass down to first base, but she did not collect the $200. So she's moving along. And now we've got our right fielder. This is Megan Perkins. They call her MP. And there's a good lead. Shay, it's a delayed steal.
Wow.
And it hit her, but she's safe.
I don't know if she read Al there. Al's communicating something over there, or if she is that part of is the delayed steal offense been implemented already in early April?
I've been trying to steal some of the signals early, and I just haven't seen it. I know that I know what the indicator is, and typically the call is supposed to be right after the indicator, but I don't know if he waived it or if that was a partial.
Well, we'll have to, after the game, maybe between games, you can go over and talk to Al Wahutka, longtime Park athlete himself and baseball as well as, and you can find out if that was part of the Wahutka way, as it's known, isn't it? The Wahutka way.
I know that he's working on his memoir, so we'll have to find out. And I think there's a book in the fall. So and maybe a movie to be followed up by that, which would be fun. I think the Coen brothers might come back for that.
Oh, listen, I just want to know who's going to play Augie Schmidt because I want to wear the orange blazer because I know Al was a big part of that '79 state tournament run, wasn't he?
What a lot of people forget is that Al was a heck of a football player too. I think wasn't he on the Wall of Fame?
He's
I know he set some records for football.
Well, he's a really acclaimed teacher at the high school. Class of '79, not to throw Al under the bus there.
And he's a science teacher, I believe, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And Sarah's way ahead. This is Sarah Garcia. Sarah's a senior this year, and
shirt-tail relation to Jerry. Shirt-tail relation to Jerry.
Yep, she part of the ice cream company. Well, that's a little high.
Yeah, and the girls like the new uniforms this year, though, Mike. They just got them.
And it's fun. They I know that the captains got together at the beginning of the season, and Coach Wahutka gave them the girls would be going on the pass ball. So Shay moves down to third, and Megan moves over to second. And I believe we've got is it a 2-0 count or 3-0? 2-2 count. Oh boy, yeah. I'm way off.
My bad. That's my fault.
Oh, that's all right. With the extra person in the booth, we thought we'd have an extra spotter today, and
I'm slacking even. I'm slacking even more than normal here, Mike.
You got the rookie here just trying to keep up.
So Sarah goes down swinging. We've got one out, and this is our first baseman. That's Bella Halstead.
Now Bella's got. It looks like she's got a balanced approach up there at the dish. She's what grade is Bella in?
Bella's a junior, and she's
okay.
Yep, she's got that nice wide stance, and Bella's very strong. She's capable of hitting it over the left fielder's head. She's usually a dead pull hitter. But again, today I think it's going to be interesting. I think everybody's going to be a pull hitter today.
Well, this wouldn't even be a bad game to experiment with some switch hitting with the speed of the pitches that are coming in as well.
Yeah, and I don't know how much time they spend doing that. I mean, I know that.
Or even just working on your slap. Those lefties that can slap it. like that Maddie Houlihan, that that Benilde shortstop.
Park doesn't have a lefty in the lineup, so it'll be tough to see.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we had somebody who could go ahead and slap it down the line or slap it over the in between third and short. Now Bella waits on that one, and you can see she's waiting on it, and she's still pulling it. So this will be a challenge for the Orioles, and this is something that it might not be. When you go to the batting cages, everybody's throwing hard, right? It's always 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, and so this is not the kind of pitch that you can really practice for.
Right. I don't know how to judge the exact miles per hour, but it's probably not more than 25 maybe, or
yeah, it's hard to say.
30. I don't know.
Yeah, I know she's out there working hard, and it's but you typically don't see an arc, and she's got a little bit of an arc there. And part of the reason, John, you'll notice is that when she's taking that stride, she's dipping, and anytime you dip, the ball is always going to go high. So when you dip and then you release up, and that's typically, I'd say 90% of the time you're going to see a high ball. That's when they teach you at the pitching lessons, you always want to stay tall. And when you stay tall, the ball stays low and your release point stays down. It doesn't come up as easy. So just my 2 cents.
Well, and you should mention too that a lot of people might be tuning in who.
Oh, there's a
nice
rope
shot to left. There you go.
So Evenson rips one to left, and now they're going to make a play at home. Perkins is going to score. And now they're moving over to third, and and Bella gets the third, and not the prettiest slide, but she's in there safe. And
she might have jammed her ankle. She went late, and she was really stiff leg on that left leg front slide.
Yeah, Steve and I saw a lot of that at Blake the other day. The girls are waiting till they get on the bag before they decide to drop and slide, and And we had a couple of, Molly Mintz had a couple nice slides, and I think there was somebody else that had a nice one. I don't recall who the other one was, but some of these girls are just waiting too long.
But
and this brings up Lauren Myra. She looks at ball one.
And just to finish reflecting on what you commented on earlier too, I was just going to say that, try not to talk so much when the pitches are being thrown. But yeah, you've got a case too where, Lauren is in her fourth year starting varsity as a pitcher, but if you're tuning in watching this game,
there's a hard hit. Oh, and a nice play by Layton. It's in the dirt. Let's see if she can get back.
Beautiful glove work by Layton.
Wow,
she just didn't follow through on the throw, but that was...
I got to tell you, that was a Hoover over there at short there. Nice play.
That was
too bad she couldn't make the throw.
That was Ozzie Smith-esque, and I'm serious. That was a really high-quality defensive play, yeah.
So another run will score. That moves Evenson over to third, and Lauren Myra is safe at first. And now here's one of the other tri-captains, the pitcher Lauren Resnick, and she's going to watch a high ball. I think that's considered an illegal pitch. I don't know that you can go over 12 feet.
I know that when I was in college at UW River Falls for fun, I played intramural softball, and they do not play with umpires, and you have unlimited arc.
Okay.
And all they play, the ball's got to land on the carpet.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh,
yeah.
20. I remember we played for
Moonballs.
We played for like the beyond school championship one year. They had a guy throwing from. You could throw that ball like straight. It was the hardest thing to hit you've ever seen. He had like a 3-hitter.
You almost need a tennis racket to hit those things. And
there's a shot to left.
So Resnick gets a hit into left field. That's going to score one, and Wahutka holds Lauren Myra at third, and Resnick is safe at first. So
nice to see the girls all second time through. As you go in second time through the order here, they're waiting a little bit more on the pitches. This is Steve visiting with Mike here.
Sorry. Yeah, we're just trying to confirm. I think it's 5-0 right now.
I have 5.
Okay, thank you. And Maria watches strike one. And Resnick, I thought she'd go. They held her back.
Now, the Barr is B-A-H-R?
No, I think it's B-A-R-R.
Is it any relation to, longtime St. Louis Park icon Danny Barr, and who was a class of 83 grad?
I remember Danny well. Danny was an excellent Little League player.
He
I
was.
believe actually Maria's dad is from Wilmer, and I think he knew Joel Cook's family growing
that's
from
right,
Wilmer.
Speaking of everything that's transpired, that's right. That is where Joel graduated, and
I believe so. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's where that connection was. And I think Maria's sister is a teacher over at Aquila. I think she's a school teacher somewhere in the district.
And
that's Kelsey Collage. That ball's high, so Maria is going to take ball 4, and she's going to get a free pass. So now we got bases full of birds, and that brings up our shortstop, Maddie McIntyre.
Nice. Hopefully, Maddie can just relax and just let it come. She's only in 7th grade. There's good lead already. Just let it come to you. Good patience. The hardest thing is when the ball, it looks so juicy there. It's like playing slow pitch. It looks like you want to hit it at about 300 feet.
You're right. Especially when it comes high like that, it just looks so much bigger at eye level.
Yeah.
Now there's a nice ball. So 1-1 now to Maddie. Maddie's got bases loaded and is 1 out, I believe, right? Whoops. They've got loose balls hitting us over here on the outline. And then she pulls one down to third line. She's going to go to third, and that'll score a run. So,
and even though, if you're watching at home and you're saying, well, bases were loaded, why didn't the balls hit right to her? Why didn't she quick go home and try to get a double play? Probably not going to happen in fast pitch with your 60-foot bases, let alone she's got a sure play to get at least 1 out to get her 2 outs of the inning.
The instruction from the coach might have been get the easy out, and not only that, I think we've got a freshman catcher back there, and so maybe there's some, there's still some confidence and some learning and getting to know each other. A lot of times kids are taught to go to the nearest base, so she might have thought, I'll just get it.
Well, that was a great job by the catcher to rise up out of her crouch that time. That one was headed right to the backstop, but she showed some good range to pop out of that crouch.
That's Yang. Interesting too, John. I noticed she's not using a catcher's mitt. She's using just a standard infield glove to catch.
And didn't you know that was what was going to happen on the next pitch after she threw it about 10 feet high? She'd
come down with the lower one, yeah.
Right, and it was in the dirt.
Compensation.
Yes.
So Shea's up, and there's a pass ball. Let's see if they go. There's a delayed Maria.
Oh, it was ball 4.
Ball 4.
Yeah.
You're right.
So Orioles getting a chance to work on patience, which is part of fast pitch as well, making sure you're staying within yourself and Steve, what level did Shea play at in summer ball? Has she been part of that Hopkins or Park program for traveling as well, or?
Last summer she played for St. Louis Park.
Okay.
In fall league at Hopkins, so she's a little of both.
Little of each, and quite a few of the ladies are partaking. I know that's something Al's really been encouraging and pushing, and it sounds like the Caven family involved with that St. Louis Park traveling softball. If girls are watching, and right through the wickets there.
Yeah, so the third baseman, number 14, that was Molly Hinderrocker, and she got the glove on it, but it just it popped through. So another run scores, base is still full, and that brings up, I can't read the number, I'm sorry. It looks like number 5 is Sarah Garcia.
Okay.
And Sarah's started in left field today. And Sarah watches ball 1, and Yang keeps it in front of her. Now, I like that, John. I don't know if you and Steve noticed that, but the catcher actually dropped down to her knees to keep the ball in front of her. We don't see a lot of kids do that. There's a lot of them that'll just try and reach for the ball and try and stop it, and that's usually where you find yourself chasing to the backstop. So Garcia gets a good piece, and that's third base. And they can't make the play to Leighton. So again, there's a play where her momentum is pulling her towards first base. I don't know, John, Steve, would you have gone to first or second on that?
I think first base was the play.
Yeah, and
with 2 outs, right?
2 outs. Luckily, and Steve, totally agree with what you said. One good thing as well, I'm impressed with Leighton. She seems to be pretty heads up at shortstop there. Not only the defensive plays that she made, but she ran through that play. So even you almost had the unusual 5-6 force play at third, which you never would have seen.
Yeah, she did. She had the wherewithal to cover the base, and that's almost an exact same play. And this time the Hinteracre makes the play to first. So. Steve, you got a line for us? I know there's a lot of writing.
Well, as Steve's tabbing up the data, Mike, if girls are interested in watching this at home, or parents are watching and saying, hey, my girl, maybe she's played Little League at younger ages and now she wants to transition over to play fast pitch in the park, how do girls get more information on signing up for summer fast pitch teams in the park?
Sure.
I guess we've done these broadcasts, but that's nothing that we've ever covered.
Oh, that's a great call out. So typically there'll be an advertisement in the local Sun Sailor. They'll do a little blast, and it'll be a notification of when the registrations are. And registration, they'll talk about when the tryouts are. And in years past, we've had the opportunity to have Coach Wahutka help do the evaluations for the travel program, and which is great. It's nice to have somebody of his caliber go through that. And then you can also go to gopark.org. You can go to St. Louis Park Fast Pitch on the website. You'll be able to find out some updates throughout the year. And
is it SLP Fast Pitch? I apologize, I do not know. Or we'll just search under that is what we're saying exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I think SLP Fast Pitch is probably the challenge for those of you at home is that if you're in the St. Louis Park viewing area, I know we all like to say that we're SLP, but just north of 694, there's also Spring Lake Park, which goes under SLP, and so sometimes there's some confusion as to who is the SLP, the orange and black or the blue and red. So,
well, I don't know. The St. Louis Park High School started in 1898, so we've been around a lot longer than that.
That's some great trivia. 1898, Orioles are orange and black. They're part of the 6AA division, located over there on 6425 West 33rd Street. So, for those of you that want to visit Edison, you've got they're down the hill at 700 22nd Avenue Northeast, and
right off Central Avenue.
Yeah, enrollment 448 kids, and they were founded in 1922.
Now, I'm going to react to what you just said after this pitch.
If I can get a reaction out of Mr. Fromm, that's
think about that. Edison, middle part of Minneapolis, right north of downtown, founded 1922.
Correct.
St. Louis Park founded
1898. So it's 24 years. 24-year difference.
But a suburban school
right.
founded 24 years assigned to downtown.
Well, and I'm wondering too, John.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's one of those things where everybody kind of moved to north.
Oh, way to saw her off.
There you go. And Bella with the easy scoop and over to first.
Yeah, she really got in the kitchen that time with the heater, and I'll tell you what, she sawed that bat off. If we were playing with wood, it'd be Splinter Island as she worked her way back to the dugout, and I'm being serious if you're listening to that. She really got in the kitchen.
Yeah, you got to wear your gloves in this game. And Lauren goes right back at her, so this is top of the order, are we? I'm sorry, number 2 is Seichao. So Seichao is playing, this is Nai Seichao, number 2. She's a junior, and she's playing second base today. We remember.
Beautifully done. Fair ball?
No, hit her in the box. So it's got to be a foul.
Steve, we started when you were counting in between innings. What did you have for last half inning for runs and hits? We didn't finish that. We got so busy listening to ourselves talk that
I have 8 runs that inning for a total of 9, and I think I came up with 3 hits and about 3
strike.
or 4 walks.
3 or 4 walks. Okay, but just 3 hits for the. Okay.
Yep. I have 9-0.
9-0 Orioles.
Yeah. So
and now that brings up the top of the order, number 5, Danielle Martinez. She's a senior and she's playing center field in the first game here. Resnick fires back. She's got strike 1.
5 pitches in the inning, 5 strikes, 2 outs. Don't get any better than that.
Well, it's good if Lauren can be efficient, because you never know, how many innings. We talked a little bit before about, the softball pitchers. She went upstairs that time. It looked like it might have been a rise ball, and she got her to chase. So, John, the torque on the arm is a lot less coming from underneath than it is over the top, and so that's why you're able to see, even at the college level, some of these kids will be continue to throw. You see some pitchers that'll go game after game or go deep into games, and the pitch count like it does in Little League doesn't really apply.
Right, exactly. And what do you estimate Lauren threw on Wednesday between the 6-inning complete game and then her relief outing? She gets another strikeout. 2 more strikeouts to add to the total. I believe, I may be wrong, Steve, is that 6 or 7 for the 3 innings? I'm not sure, but somewhere in that area.
She struck out.
Okay, we have 6.
Yep.
So 6 Ks.
Strikeouts.
I think not a ball that inning. You're talking about
not a ball called. I think there was some balls that were swung at. But
those 7-pitch innings when you get 2 Ks, those are going to really help for your longevity. But how many do you think she threw on Wednesday when the 8 or 9 innings she threw?
I tried to get a count on that, and I want to say she was probably somewhere. The first game was somewhere in the 60 to 70 range. And then there were in the other games she probably threw about 30, 35. There were a couple of very long at bats. There was one girl who played for catcher who must have fouled the ball off 10 times in a row on multiple occasions. So there were some really good battles, and which was fun. And the Blake team, it's an interesting story, is that they actually have 2 kids on the team that are Breck students, but there weren't enough girls to play competitively at Breck, so they got a appeal, I guess, to play for the Blake school, and gave them an opportunity to meet some new kids. But boy, you feel bad for these kids that go to a school that I know, John, you were telling us about how Cooper, for the first time in how many years, isn't going to have a hockey team. And I know there's other schools that face these things on a regular basis, and it's just really sad that if that's your given sport and you have to go over to another school or school district even to participate, first of all, it's a big commitment, but second of all, to try and make your way in after you haven't been coming up in the program, it's somewhat of a challenge.
Well, I was just amazed when you talked about the facilities over at Blake, and I just assumed, okay, it's Blake and Breck prep schools, probably the 2 most expensive schools in the state to go to, and it sounded like it was not even anywhere near as nice as what we have here at Aquila.
Oh, and a nice play. So Mackenzie Evenson hits a high ball, and that was in the sun, and you had number 12, I believe, is Alyssa Westerhouse, who really tracked that thing well. She's out there with her hands on her eyebrows, and now she's smart. She's got the glove up, and I was really impressed with that play.
Yeah, nicely done. She's, and what grade is Westerhouse at short?
Yeah, Westerhouse is left field.
Left field,
sorry, and she's a senior this year, so using that.
Shading well.
Yep. And there's Lauren Myra pulls one over to Leighton. Leighton comes up easy with it pulls her off the bag, and she's safe. I'd say that's twice now where she's made a nice play and she's pulling the first baseman off the bag. And I will tell you, I think the first baseman made the right play. You're always supposed to play the ball, right?
Right. Well, and just to follow up what you're saying, not a warm day. The Edison girls, some of them have the t-shirt undershirts on here. I'd love to see some of these girls wearing long sleeve undershirts, because she's come up and short armed both of those throws. She hasn't followed through, used her body at all on either throw, and I don't know,
Yep.
So it's early in the season. So
that's a great observation. A lot of times too, if they're throwing and their weight is still on their back of their back foot, it's like when you throw a football, it's always going to sail high.
Right.
And I think that's what we're seeing. She's not letting her momentum take her forward and letting her snap down. So, maybe some little technique things to work on here. It's still early in the season. They probably didn't have many outdoor practices either, like Park.
Right.
So here's Lauren Resnick, and she looks at ball 3, I believe.
Yeah, and it's nice to know if you're the new man running the Edison ship over there in Northeast, that you've got somebody defensively who can make the plays. You could tweak the arm there. on the footwork.
Oh, there's a strike. So I think Lauren had the take sign there on. She was looking
Yeah.
at a 3-0 pitch, and now she's got. This is what they call the hitter's pitch. 3-1. You know it's going to be something decent. Let's see if she decides to tee off on it. And that's going to be a short into left field. Didn't quite get all of it.
Right. She waited on it well there. And
Yeah,
it just
hung.
Yeah, she just didn't quite get all of what she wanted, and.
It looked like she hit it, but didn't really get the snap on the follow through. But I think if she really times that well, that probably could have gone over the left fielder's head. But so 2 outs now, and this brings up Maria the Crime Dog Bar.
Please elaborate.
Yeah, you know, Maria really hates it when we call her the Crime Dog because it makes her laugh and it gets her out of sorts. But a couple years ago, we were here for a game at the beautiful confines of Oriole Park at Aquila Field, and Coach Wahutka actually had something stolen out of his car. A guy walked up and just reached in his car and took a handful of change out of his coffee jar, and Maria wanted to chase him down, so we kind of coined the phrase the crime dog.
So great story. So nothing related to Freddie McGriff, of course, the former Blue Jay, Padre, Brave slugger.
Or McGruff, the crime dog.
The crime dog. Loved those old. I think Paul used to run those on Park 16.
He did.
Yeah, I'm sure back in the day.
I know he's got a nice array of PSAs coming up.
He always does that. Nobody loves the doubleheader more than Paul Broden, the director in the truck, because that gives him another 12 opportunities to drop spots in between innings.
So here you go. So Maria looks at ball 4, and she's going to get a base. Is that her second walk?
That's her third walk.
Her third walk. So Maria has found herself safe at first 3 times. And yeah, we'd like to do a call out here to the ParkTV 16 crew, and we've got 2 camera people today. We got Paul in the truck, and we've got a nice a shot from center field lined up. So you know, Paul pulling out all stops for this beautiful game. We want to thank everybody in the team. You know, Misty's up on the truck giving us a wave.
Misty's happy to be outside after what we've all gone through this winter.
And Maddie's way ahead of that one.
Yeah, this is Maddie, the 7th grade shortstop you talked about, and Al's just trying to get her to relax, keep those hips back. I bet he'd even like to see her a little more up in the box even than she is, but keep those hands back, hands back, hands back, and then explode.
Yep. Uh-oh, let's see.
That's going to fall
and that's
there.
Gonna drop in, yep.
Yeah.
So nice timing there, and
she's got
found
good,
some green.
She has good size for a 7th grader. If she is only 13 or so, too, I can see why. You know, looks like she got some good wheels. I don't know if she runs cross country or would have done track.
Yeah, I know that
bloodlines.
I know that number 2, our right fielder, is Megan Perkins. She's one of the runners on the team.
Okay.
And now our backstop is up. This is Shay. Shay swings a nice level swing, but just comes underneath it a little bit.
Yeah. And so you've got 1 7th grader, 1 8th grader starting for the Orioles, and then 3 seniors? I apologize.
Yep,
for
3. So we've got
okay, so good mix of veteran leadership. And
yeah, it's a nice. And Shay goes downstairs to pick that one up, and the right center fielder comes in. Oh no, she misplayed it, and now they're going to be running all over the place. Here comes Maddie, goes to third, and that was Maria sliding in safe, and Shay's on at on at first.
That was all her own power to take a 25-mile-an-hour pitch and just wait, and explode. Obviously, she's going to earn her dinner with just the power she generated on that swing.
Her dinner, whatever she requests on the way home, which I'm sure she will.
Yeah. Well, and she's only a sophomore, too, and we talked about, you know, if you just joined us, John Fromm, Mike Resnick, and Steve Special Delivery Swanson.
That's right. Triple S.
Known as Special Delivery from...
there's
a laser
hit.
to short.
Oh, and again, Leighton comes up strong.
And she followed through better that time.
Yeah, nice hustle by Megan, but...
yeah.
So...
Good work by...
2 runs that inning.
2 runs.
Should give us 11.
No, I was going to say, though, we were talking, your daughter extension on that swing was excellent, and all that power, even though she got under that, if she would have hit that on a line, she could have taken it out to the fence, you know, so she's... Obviously, does she do a lot? Does she do some weight training? I know Lauren works out a lot with Coach Gust or Jessica Gust and the training crew.
Yeah, Shay doesn't do a lot at the moment, but I know she grew a lot. Last year, she has definitely gotten taller. So, but I just want to mention too about you're talking about the shortstop or plays to first.
Yeah,
I think one of the bigger keys. I mean, throwing obviously, but you got to get your footwork.
Right.
That's what I noticed about our shortstop out there, Maddie. Seen her the other day. I think she has good footwork.
Right.
Sounds good. You want to go into the throw. If you're going to throw it to first, point your feet at first. So.
Right. And we should mention, in just joining us, that's Steve Swanson talking. Steve has a really strong baseball background himself. Not only, we mentioned his father is in the Hall of Fame. What high school again? When you throw that high school name out that your dad's?
Uppsala.
Uppsala. And then is that where you went to school too?
I went to Cooper.
Okay,
Cooper High School.
okay,
Right.
Yeah, you went to Cooper, 78 grad. Claim to fame is he struck out Kent Herbeck in the section semis at Parade the year Cooper was state runner-up.
We were second state that year.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do you have a big stable of pitchers back then at Cooper? You must have, I assume, if you were that.
We had the big two. We had Joe Seibran, who was a senior, and a kid named Kevin Atkinson.
Okay.
He was a sophomore, but quite the pitcher, and I ended up being the relief pitcher. I was had a 0 ERA in conference conference ball.
Now, did you have some chances to maybe play after high school, or did you some? Or?
I didn't play baseball. I played tons and tons of softball.
Okay.
I went in there and played. I pitched a couple thousand softball games. Actually, I'm playing baseball again now, though.
Oh, are you? You're still playing
over 35 and an over 50 leagues.
Oh, you're playing
happy
two of them.
to say. Yeah.
No.
So first pitch is a bunt, and let's see if Savannah covers. Resnick over to Savannah. I believe that's Savannah Romero. We've had some substitutions going around the field quickly. We've now have, I believe it's Savannah over at second. In right field, we now have Molly Mintz. She's a junior. And in center fielder, we have senior Sophie Macklem Johnson. Oh, and I apologize. We also have Amanda Selly out in left field, and she's a junior.
Nice heater there.
Oh, there we go. Let's see if Resnick. Oh, and Lauren bobbles it. And so now we've got, that was number 10, Osana Reich. And I think on that play, John, it was coming slow enough. Lauren probably should have just grabbed it with her hand, barehanded that one.
You've been a master over the years as we've gone and done baseball, softball. I know she had plenty of time. It was hit so slow, but yeah, it kind of hit off the front nip of her glove there. And but that's a good lesson to learn. But I was going to comment on the play before. Yeah, excellent read by the second baseman to not hesitate being fresh into the game and get there to cover first.
I like the way Bella charged. So the corners definitely were doing the right thing, and the natural play is for second base to charge over there. So being, and I believe Savannah, if that's the same Savannah, she's a 9th grader. So there's still some youth out there, and being thrown right into the fire here in Game 3. Resnick goes high, and Lauren looks like she's probably throwing in the mid-50s right now. There's a good backup by
number 12 out there for the Orioles.
Molly Mintz,
Yeah, Molly Mintz.
Yep.
Yeah, I think too and I'm sure both of you are watching this too, as Lauren's going to corral that, I believe. Nicely
two
done.
Hands and
beautifully done on the two-hander, the basket catch, a la Willie Mays.
Or Shoeless Joe Jackson, I believe, too, right?
But that was really nicely done because, if, she needed that second hand, the top hand for support there.
Well, and I think she was probably still frustrated from the last play, so it's good that she didn't take it out on herself. This brings up the shortstop. Number 24 is Amy Layton. Having a hard time reading the coach's penmanship. It could be Annie.
We mentioned her name a lot at short today.
We're going to go A. Layton on this one.
Come on, Amy Layton, here you go. Amy Layton.
So was the first pitch a ball or strike?
Go. Ready. Nice quick hands on that. She's definitely geared up. These coaches got them geared up for the fastballs, and they're just going to have to adjust to anything they see with the change. But her hands were ready for the Lauren Resnick fastball there.
Yep, you're right. I think it'll be interesting to see if Coach Stephanie calls for some more breaking balls.
Yeah, and
Lauren goes high. Oh, Shea goes down to the getter. Oh,
beautiful drop tag. Nice drop tag for a 7th grader at short that time. Beautifully done. Two hands as well.
Yeah, nice alligator. I like it.
Yeah.
So Shea came up throwing, and again,
right
I know one of the things that Al's been trying to work on with the girls is to really let the catcher know if there's ceiling. Oh, there's a shot out to left field. Amanda Selly comes in. Oh, and she misplays it, and now that's going to bring.
Just throw it into short here. You don't have a play at all.
She hit the cutoff. There we go. So, and that was Osana Reich scoring from second.
That young lady's a good ball player. She's, she definitely she's seen it defensively at short, but she definitely had geared up for the fastball that she needed to be geared up for, because first it played her, she wasn't ready for it.
I think Amanda's playing a little too deep. I think on that one, I
think that's a hit.
That was a hit. Yeah, that was a hit.
Yep. Yeah. Here's another.
And now we've got a new player. This is number 21, and I believe that is Ani Ray.
I like the fact that she's got Roberto.
Ania Ray.
Ania's got Roberto Clementi's old number, and he was quite an athlete for the Pirates back in the day.
Yeah,
not to date ourselves, but
he was quite another tragic loss too early.
Exactly 3,000 hits.
Good
3,000
call.
hits.
That's
Wow.
right. And then
There's
he
a nice
went on that
pitch.
plane. Yeah, he was on like a relief mission or something, and he had a plane crash right after the season. Yeah.
Yep.
You can tell we're all baseball fans. It's Mike Resnick, Steve, the S-Bomb Swanson, and then
There's
and then John Fromm with you. Swanee, do you have a nickname, or is it just Swanee on your
Swanee,
two teams?
I've known people for 25 years, and they hear my name, Steve. They go, I didn't know your name was Steve.
So then, what did we get for a count that inning then? Was it just the one run that came in on the
one run on one hit?
one and the one error?
And one hit, one error. That is correct.
So there you see, we're at the 11-1 mark here. As you just joined us here on Park 16, if you do want to get a copy of the game today, Mike, how would someone go about getting a fine, high-quality DVD of this game, Misty Lewis?
Well, we have the number there on the bottom of the screen. You can just reach out. There's the 952 number, so reach out and request your DVD. And I believe it's $15 and for one, and two for how much? For 20?
10 for 3 or more. So get the family together, call the aunts and uncles, call that crazy Uncle Charlie down in Clarissa, Minnesota, get him off the couch and get him off momentarily, at least to give you a credit card, and then he go back and watch the game when he gets the DVD, I guess. So.
Well, you gotta love Charlie.
Remember Uncle Charlie on My Three Sons?
I do. I remember your Uncle Charlie though when we used to go down to the Knights of Columbus and play bingo. That was fun.
Oh God, I forgot
that?
about that. It's all just a vague mystery. I don't know where I was mentally that time.
Yeah, well, you might have been out doing some pull tabs or something creative. Oh, and
something creative.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, it's great to be back for another year. You know, we didn't talk about this, gang, but this is obviously the first spring broadcast we've had on 16 here. I really want to encourage everybody to go to gopark.org. That's gopark.org. And just click on the different teams you're interested for the schedules. There's been so many changes with game additions, doubleheaders, cancellations with what happened this week with the death in the Orioles family, and but also too, you know, I don't know if you guys run into this. I just was at the Dugout Club meeting for baseball on Sunday, and I believe we had 3 of the parents who are in the Dugout Club didn't have any idea that they could always go to the baseball hub or softball hub to get the listings of schedules or stats or anything put in there. And I think Softball Hub is mnsoftballhub.com, correct?
Yeah, and I think you can go right through. I believe you can get it right through the Star Tribune. So it's the Star Tribune. You go to Preps. You click on Preps. After Preps, you'll go down to Softball, and then you can do a search by team. And from there, they give you, based on the data that's put into it. It's only as good as the data that's put in. But it looks like so far Coach Al has arranged to have all the stats from the 2 Blake games. So that information is there. And for those people that want to share that information for their loved ones that can't get out to the game, they can have it right in their living room. There's
a laser.
Wow, Amanda Selly rips one out to center.
There's going to be a celebration in the Selly house tonight after that line shot to center.
That was nice, and congratulations to Amanda. That's her first hit of the season, so good for her.
Oh, good.
And a nice way to celebrate with Coach Stephanie over at first. Give her some company. And this is Bella Halstead. Bella started at first base tonight. So nobody out. And she goes downstairs for that one. Oh, I thought Amanda might be going. The ball got away from Yang.
We should mention, too, girls softball obviously started practice on March 10th, where the baseball team didn't start till the 17th. So these girls have literally been practicing for a month and a day, and had a lot of reps in the gym. Not a lot of chance to get outside, but definitely a lot of practice time for Coach Wahutka to work with the girls. And I believe, is this year 5 of Al coaching at the park? Was Lauren, or year 4 when Lauren was an 8th grader? Was that his first
it's either
year?
his 5th or 6th year as head coach.
Yeah.
And
because when your son was in 11th grade was his last year varsity, right? And then he went to softball?
Right, I believe that's right.
Okay.
So 2009, I think, was his last baseball year.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. And I know a long time, and it probably as a coach took him a couple years to adapt to the differences in terms of teaching, in terms of off-season play. You don't have the quantity of young ladies currently that you do on the boys' side with the Little League development program. But
struck out.
Was that a strikeout?
No, I was sorry. We were just discussing. Oh, and Amanda didn't. She misjudged her she misjudged her footing there. She actually stepped on the side of on the top of the bag and slipped right across it, almost turned an ankle. So Amanda scatters down to second base, and this brings up the top of the order. Number 7, third baseman, Mackenzie Evenson. Mackenzie, and she put some top spin on that. It was almost like a tennis stroke there. It's you got the top spin to get over the top of it, and it made for
like those table tennis shots that those Chinese gentlemen are famous for.
Go.
Right, they follow through.
And there's something too. It's early in the season. The field is still wet, so you're not going to get those big hops. And third baseman just pulled up on it. It scooted under her glove. So this is, wow, big strike there.
Yeah. Mike, we didn't mention too
center fielder Sophie Macklem Johnson, number 4.
And Sophie started a lot last year, didn't she? Or did I only saw 4 games, but I remember seeing.
Oh, there's a play at the plate. Let's see. Oh, Amanda turned on the brakes. Now she's turning back.
Smartly done. There was not a force play, so she was smart enough to come back.
So, and Coach Al said, "What? You can't stay and talk to me. You got to go over there."
Yeah, right. That's a learning moment, though, guys. Second and third, you don't have to go. But when she made the move to go home, the pitcher wisely ran in front of her to make sure the pitcher creates a lane for the girl to go back to third base and then gets the tag.
Yeah, good call.
But
good call.
You aren't going to bust for home on a play like that, though. So that'll be something Al probably chicken scratches down in his notebook to talk to the girls about, too.
You're right. Good learning opportunity. So this brings up Resnick. She's in the 3 spot today. And she's way ahead of it. And there's Mackenzie's going to go over to third, and then a delayed steal by Sophie Macklem Johnson.
Yeah, nicely done there. A couple ducks on the pond, and Lauren will just relax, and I know she will. How was the velocity of the Blake staff the other day?
It was quite a bit faster than what we're seeing today, but it still was, it was,
wow.
And what a catch.
What a collision out there with the
they got to
center.
get back, hustle back. Oh, was that 3? Oh, okay.
Wow, Clementi with the snag out there in center field. Do we have that on tape? Those two girls almost collided. The center fielder and the left fielder with an excellent effort.
So here's the play. Resnick hits a rocket a deep shot out to left center, and there was no talking there whatsoever. But number 21, Ania Ray, a junior, she was on the team last year, and she was able to snag it and hang on.
Well, I'm always partial to anybody with the nickname or last name of Ray, as of course I always call you Ray, Michael Ray. Been your nickname since I believe 6th grade when Michael Ray Richardson of the New York Knicks put up 37 against the Cavaliers on a Tuesday at the old Quicken Loans Arena. I'm making the last part up, but that was your favorite point guard if I remember right. So anyway, great catch by Ray out there, and
there's Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Back
to the music.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, and we were talking briefly last inning, though, you guys. Wanted to just do a shout-out to the baseball team at Park as well as the lacrosse teams and track teams. Go on that gopark.org website. Paulie, I don't know if you have the graphic package ready to load, but it's gopark.org is the website for all the schedules. And the baseball team starts on Monday, the 14th. So if you're watching this game, thank you, Paul, for putting that up. If you're watching this game Monday, the 14th, or even if you're watching it on YouTube over the weekend, I believe the Orioles are taking the show to Hopkins on Monday, and then they've got Benilde, I think, on Wednesday, and Totino. Totino has got a great club in the North Suburban this year. They took Fridley down by, I believe, 2.5 or 3 touchdowns the other day. So they're ranked in the top 6 in the state, and
that's crazy.
Should be a really wide open North Suburban race in baseball. So Park's got, I think, 4 returning starters for baseball, and so
where are we at? Number 14?
Yeah.
I think we've had some substitutions. This is supposed to be Yang, but instead we're going to see number 9, and forgive us at home because we don't. Oh, here we go. It's Julia
Child?
Barker. I believe it's Barker, and Barker is a 7th grader. And she looks at not part of Bob Barker's family, but she looks at outside ball 1. It'll be interesting to see if she swings here, John. She had no intention of swinging there. Clearly had the take.
Look at Barker again. Lauren's still firing strikes. I apologize. I stopped counting pitches after the 3rd inning because I'd only had, it was hardly any movement in my hand. I had only rung up 22 pitches for 3 innings, so I don't know where Lauren's at, but
yeah, not sure. There's a
good
catch.
Right up the ladder with the heat. Good cut though too, and good. This is great experience for these Edison girls. I mean, they're going to get in the city conference, playing Henry, playing Southwest is always pretty good, but you
Ooh.
know.
So it looks like Lauren tried to go with the change up there, and I think she hit her hip there.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you come back with that change, you're supposed to stop there, and that's the momentum when you stop actually slows the ball down. And I think she just caught the right side of her hip there. So 2-1, John, or 2-2? 2-2. That's strike three. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well,
one
nicely
out.
done. Another punch out there. We don't have the K zone up here at Aquila yet, but that's a backwards K if you're scoring at home, because when you don't pull the trigger on a swing, it's a backwards K, and Coach Swanee's got that down.
So I have 8 Ks.
That's Lauren's 8th strikeout. So, and there's Lowe, and just kind of scoots by Shea there.
She must have been fired up to get back on the hill today, wasn't she? Even if she did throw 100, 110 pitches Wednesday, was the arm feeling pretty good this morning?
Yeah, she said it was. She said, that first game, I don't think she knew she was going to be pitching in the second game. So the first, she felt good after the first game. But, you throw all season long. There's a shot down the line, and Mackenzie Evenson comes up and makes a nice throw.
5-3 put out. Nicely done, Mackenzie.
So Evenson makes the play, and that brings us 2 outs. And I apologize. Oh, that was Molly Hinterracker, her third base. Is this it?
10-run rule.
So this could be it. This is number 7 now. She just entered the game, and this is Angela Brooks. Angela's a junior, donning number 7, and she swings at a low fastball.
Mike, and I don't want you to embellish this in any way, and I know you certainly won't, but what is Lauren's velocity, truthfully, when she lets it all out on a heater?
Yeah,
is she
she's
mid-50s?
Yeah, she's been clocked at her highest was about 56, 57, but she's
fantastic.
But during the game she's probably throwing more around 54, I think.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is then there's strike 3.
And when you're at that distance, people don't realize 54 miles an hour even from, I believe you're 45 feet here, 1.5 in from a Little League distance.
Yep.
That is your game.
Yep, that is ball game.
But the corresponding speed, reaction time wise, you're talking, that's a good 75, 80 miles an hour at least.
Yeah, it's probably close. Oh wait,
Yeah.
are they calling them out? I thought that was game. We have
Maybe
11-1 as
we
the
might
score.
Maybe we have the score wrong. Maybe it is 10-1, or
We could ask
I'm not
Coach.
sure.
Well, they're sending him back out, so maybe they're doing it.
Well, I'll try to get a read of what the actual score is. I'll step away for a minute.
Okay, yep. And while John's doing that, we're going to take a break in the action, and we'll be back to oh, all right, never mind. We're going to hang with it then. So as we watch them warm up here, interesting story here with, as John was mentioning, you've got some new kids in the game now. We look around the field at giving some kids an opportunity to play, and it's actually 10-1, so we're off by 1 run there. So 10-1. And so the 10-run rule is not in play yet. And John is part of our crack staff tracking them down. But we have a discrepancy on the scorebook with someone, but that's okay. We'll get some extra innings in, which is a beautiful night, and we don't care. Good news is, folks, that if you save your ticket stub, the second game tonight is free. So hang on to your ticket stubs, and it's a good value. Steve hasn't gotten our lame sense of humor yet.
Right, and Steve, the whole key is
taking it all in.
We realize most people at home aren't laughing. They might not even have the sound on. So for that matter, well,
don't laugh with us, laugh at us.
Exactly.
So we've got this is the bottom of 5 then, or 6?
This would be bottom of 5.
Bottom of 5. Okay, so leading off the
and I'm glad it
Oriole
wasn't
half.
a 10-run rule.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful night. You got a few minutes between games anyway. Get them in before we get back to the 40s next week.
We just can't catch a break here.
Well, we did this week at least. So.
Yeah, I was watching Barry Zavan the other day, and he said it was going to get a little chilly. So.
Barry Zavan, the weatherman. Talk about dating ourselves. Wasn't he the big guy? He was bald as can be. I remember on KSTP in the mid '70s.
Yeah.
Did he also host Bowling for Dollars in the '70s?
Oh no, that was Mel.
No.
What was his name? He was on Channel 5 too, I think, wasn't he?
Remember Bowling for Dollars? Do you remember this?
I do remember. I can't
remember the show. I remember the Bowling for Dollars. I can't remember picturing.
Yeah, you used to get two rolls. And they used to film it down at the in Edina at the Southtown Bowl, I believe. And well, it was a lot of fun. And you know that
what a great, and that was back when we only had 4 channels.
I believe you're right.
That was
yeah.
25% of your options. Where was that?
That or Mel Jazz's matinee movie matinee. So
Return of the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
So Savannah, I believe, gets a walk. She's on first.
Now, is Savannah named after the famous city in Georgia? I mean, is there? I love that name, actually.
I believe she is. And
and
McIntyre, but she held it. That's going to fall in. Oh, and that's going to get by the center fielder. That was Ray. Ray just a little late on the jump, and then she didn't stape it down, but they got it in. So
Al with a teachable moment here at second base. I don't know if we can catch that on the camera, but why don't you take us through, Ray, what happened there with the young lady who retreated all the way to the bag?
Yeah, you go halfway on the fly there, and Al was trying to get her, and I think she just paused. She assumed it was going to be caught, so she ran back to first, and then she kind of got caught in her own little death spin there, and couldn't make it back. So fortunately for her, the ball got underneath Ray, and she was able to recover. So now we've got Birds at first and second, and this is Shay Swanson. They call her Shay Dog.
Yeah,
so there probably is something there. I know at one point she was considering a rap career. I don't know if that's continued. Is that still her forte, or is that not, Steve?
Unless they get some country rap. I know she's big
into country. Yeah. So another pass ball.
That's ducks on the Swanson pond then, right there, second and third.
Swans
now.
On the pond.
Now she's done a real. Steve, we didn't mention this, but I have noticed at least 5 times during the game that she's thrown behind the runner at first as a catcher with a right-handed batter, and almost nailed a couple girls off. So that's really.
Yeah, she's not afraid to let it go.
Yeah.
And that one say, they called a strike there. We've got a new catcher, and here's an interesting. We've got a left-handed catcher. That's number 17. Her name is Mary Bice. Mary's an 8th grader. So again, another young player getting some exposure here at the varsity level. And ball 4, and Shay will saunter down to first base, and now we've got bases loaded. And this is number 12, the junior right fielder, Molly Mintz.
Molly Mintz.
Molly's the eldest of 4 kids. And she,
that's a fair ball.
Fair ball.
That's a fair ball. Oh, there's going to be a double play.
Yeah, double play. You don't often see that. A ball hits 6 inches in front of the plate. Oriole player at third. I don't know who the runner was. Nice read, and Al must have directed her home, but batter had no idea that the ball was fair, and you always have to assume it's going to be fair.
Yeah.
So, nice double play.
Yep, well done. So runners now at second and third, 2 outs, and this brings up Amanda Selly. Last time Amanda hit a frozen rope out to center field. Let's see if she can stay hot.
Now we should mention that the Orioles do need to get the lead run home here for the game to technically end in the bottom of the 5th here. So
that's right. Yeah.
Otherwise, if a run comes in, the game's over at the 10-run rule. But otherwise, we go to the 6th.
So that double play could have proven to be costly for the Orioles in more ways than one.
Yeah, but I think you probably want the innings early in the season. I bet coach is probably wanting the girls to get back out there again, and then some more teachable moments.
Yeah, I think you're right, and and I think that was one of the reasons they set up these double headers, was to give the kids more reps. And there's a shot right back to the pitcher. She's falling down. And it gets away, and that should be the ball game.
That'll be the ball game.
So Amanda Sully was safe at first, but that scored, I believe, was that Maddie over at third, and that should be the game. That's 10 runs.
And that's really too bad. You had 2 outs, and there was no hurry. Another moment there you can talk about. No hurry. She fields the ball. I don't know if you have the replay of that, Paulie, but all she needs to do is just take her time. She throws completely rushed, nervous as can be, and
stand up, make the step.
Right, and I hate to say that the game ends.
Here it is. Here's the replay now. Let's walk through it a little bit here.
Yeah, and see what we mean, folks, when you're watching at home.
All right, we're waiting for
Paulie's going to load the video package in the truck, but I mean, I feel kind of sad for Edison in that way, because she's
you can see Haley there. She had the wherewithal to make the play, but like you said, she was down low. It looked like she was stumbling a little bit and threw it off her heels. And as Steve said, she had plenty of time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just and I think that's one of the hardest things. That's why sports is so wonderful as a learning tool for life too. Is that even she's in a situation there where she makes a physical error, but it's not she's panicked that she's made an error and a girl's going to reach, but she doesn't realize that the wherewithal about she needed to make eye contact with that runner maybe at the same point if she's going down for the ball, to know that she didn't have to dramatically rush it. She had a half a second probably to.
Yeah, that's a great call, John. So final score: Orioles 12, and the Edison
should be
Tommies
11,
won. Yeah, I think it's 11-1 was the final there.
Well,
They did. They only needed one to get the win. Yep, they count the one. So game 1 going to the Orioles. We're going to take a. Are you ready for a break, Paul? Okay, we're going to take a brief break. We're going to step away. We'll be back with game 2 of the double bill tonight. And thanks you for joining us here at ParkTV 16 at Oriole Park at Aquila Fields.
Stick with us for game 2.